Well, thank you, Your Majesty, for unveiling the plaque. I would now like to ask the Chairman of the Floor Committee, Mr. Christopher Henry, to offer you a memento of your visit.
Your Majesty, may I offer you this gift from the floor? It is a trading badge. It conveys the right to trade and is inscribed with your unique mnemonic. We hope that you find the mnemonic very appropriate.
Your Majesty, may I now invite you to tour the trading floor with me. Thank you very much.
And so the Queen, armed, as we might say, with her trader's badge, which is inscribed, by the way, E2R, now descends onto the trading floor to meet some of the traders, some of them local, some of them working for institutions, and some of the floor staff as well. Queen meets Steve Swain, trading manager at LIFFE, joined the exchange in February 1985, having previously been an equities dealer on the stock exchange. Steve will be one of those who accompanies the Queen as she moves around the trading floor, meeting various people along the way. I know he's looking forward to this very much indeed. Started here as an options floor manager, then became floor manager. Queen first of all meets Rita Huey, a qualified trader specializing in options at First Continental Trading. Joined first in 1988, having previously worked in Florida for a large corporation in computers. Has progressed from a yellow jacket to being a successful options trader. As I was saying a moment ago, many of the traders here on the floor started out as yellow jackets and then worked their way up. Chris Henry escorting the Queen as she moves along the floor beneath the Euro Mark option pit there. Meet Anthony Morris, a yellow jacket with Lloyds Bank Financial Futures. Previously, he was performing a backup role in Lloyd's dealing room. He hopes to complete his trading exams in 3 months and then, we might say, cast off his yellow jacket and take on either a red jacket as the livery that many life traders have, or one of the multicolored, stripy or other colored jackets that the individual institutions give to their traders. Queen obviously fascinated, I suspect, as much by the youth and exuberance as the colour of the audience, who are so pleased and so honoured to see her. A chair as she's introduced to David Cantor, a qualified trader, a local who specialises in options. Joined, he tells me, 1 week before the crash in 1987, although there's no suggestion that it was his arrival here which precipitated the crash. Went as a local, as trading on his own account some 2 years ago, specialising in options. Prior to arriving in England, David Cantor, I'm told, actually ran a fast food outlet. So he's obviously experienced in taking orders and executing them very quickly. Queen moving now between the booths, which act, if you like, as miniature offices for the firms which trade on LIFFE. Everyone with literally hundreds of telephone lines going all over the world. A special pathway, as you see, has been set aside for the royal party. And now she meets David Thresher, qualified trader specializing in options with JP Morgan. That's the green and, call it pale green, call it yellow lapelled jacket that he wears there. You can see his JPM badge quite clearly. It's a trading badge of that type, which has been given to the Queen, presented to the Queen today. I say of that type because the one that she has is made of solid silver, and so far as I'm aware, no one else on the floor has a trading badge made of solid silver. If they do, then good luck to them later in the day. The Queen now moves on, meets John Sussex, another local at Sussex Futures Limited, and what a reception from those around. Isn't that wonderful? John began trading on the exchange when it opened and has since set up his own company with Hugh Morgan in 1983. He's now the major shareholder and trades in most of the major contracts. It's hard work being a local on this exchange. It's your own money that's at risk. It's your livelihood that's on the line if you get it right or if you get it wrong. These young men and women know that they hold very, very responsible positions. There's often an aura of fun, sometimes of irreverence about this market. It conceals perhaps a very deep seriousness underlying it. They all know the very serious nature of what they're doing and how any mistake could cost them or their companies a great deal of money. The Queen now meeting Keith Penny, qualified trader with Alpha Financial Futures, their very distinctive blue jacket with red and white stripes on the pockets and on the sleeves as well. Next along the line, John Chitty, a member of the Membership and Rules Committee, working with Refco Overseas Limited. Began on the Life floor in 1982. It's amazing to consider the number of people on this trading floor who started right back at the outset of trading. There was a feeling then, will this exchange survive? Will it catch on? Will it prosper? No doubt about it. David Morgan and Ted Ursa, two of the real characters of this exchange. David Morgan, I know he won't mind me describing him as one of the senior gentlemen on the trading floor. But don't let those grey hairs fool you. He's got a very lively and a very fast mind. Been at life as long as anybody can remember, and a passionate believer in this market and in what it stands for. Ted Ursa, standing next to him, of Solomon Brothers. Ted, a very strong character, a strong personality all round, working for one of the larger, to say the least, American financial institutions. Very experienced on life, as those grey hairs betray. A fine fellow, but one who, like David Morgan, believes passionately in this exchange and has helped to make it the success which it undoubtedly is today. The Queen moving along now between the banks of monitors and screens to meet Neil Hooper, another local, Cannonbridge Clearing Limited. Neil also has been trading on this floor since its inception. He's been a local since 1984 and specializes in the FTSE contract, the contract for the FTSE 100 index. Alan Dickinson, floor manager, qualified trader, a local on the Membership and Rules Committee and company director of Cannonbridge Clearing Limited. Now chairman of Cannonbridge Clearing, which has some 50 staff working both on the floor of life and on the IPE. The Queen obviously enjoying meeting these lively characters. Looks of fascination on the faces of the traders who've been asked to stand back to give the Queen a little bit of room as she moves around on this trading floor. More applause as she meets Richard Stokes, qualified trader, a local, chairman of the Long Gilt Futures Pit Committee and a floor committee member. The pit committees, the Long Gilt Futures Pit Committee, of which Richard Stokes is chairman, pit committees, if you like, regulate the small communities, which is really how you can describe each of these pits, a community in its own right. Queen now meets Alistair Nielsen, floor manager and qualified trader with Barclays de Zoet Wed Futures Limited. It says on my notes, perhaps BZW Futures Limited would be a better way of describing them. Both Richard Stokes and Alistair Nielsen, to whom the Queen is talking now, you can just see Alistair Nielsen's BZW badge there, another badge of the type that the Queen has got. Both of them very experienced traders on this floor.
We're now entering the
Queen now moving through to the LTOM area, the London Traded Options Market. LTOM, who came here on February the 3rd, and delighted we were to welcome them. LTOM and LIFFE to merge, of course, as we all know, and that merger to be completed on March the 20th. Both the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh have no doubt had the differences explained to them between the futures and options contracts on the one hand and the traded options markets contracts, derivatives, product-based, individual equity product-based, of course, on the other. The Queen's now introduced to Richard Hugh, a qualified LTOM trader with James Capel. You can see the C on his breast pocket there. The very distinctive James Capel, we might say very patriotically coloured red, white and blue jacket. Richard began as a blue button when LTOM opened, and was indeed the blue button to the dealer who executed the very first trade there. Lisa Simpkins is a price operator in trading operations on LTOM. Joined LTOM some 2.5 years ago, having previously been with a shipbroker. Her responsibilities are to enter public limit orders, trades, price changes, and also to coordinate broker and market maker slips. The accurate price reporting and accurate and proper execution of deals, of course, a vital role in the proper functioning of any market, and LTOM is absolutely no exception in that respect. Queen now meets Andrew Weaver, another qualified LTOM trader with John Kirk Limited. Andrew joined Ackroyd's in 1984 on the LIFFE market, then left to become an option market maker on LTOM. Specializing, amongst other things, I think, in FTSE options. We were talking a few minutes ago about the FTSE future. LTOM, of course, also trade FTSE options. And indeed, the FTSE pits, if you like, straddle the gap between LIFFE and LTOM. Everything here on the floor has been very, very carefully designed to ensure that there is a logical and practical grouping of the various pits. What a wonderful sense of occasion. Queen passes before more of the literally hundreds of booths. I'm sure Chris Henry pointing out that much of the rubbish has been cleared away from the floor. The old slips on which trades have been recorded, which traders will often throw from one to the other. She meets now Martin Parrott, floor manager and qualified trader with Banque Nationale de Paris, BNP, been involved in futures trading since he left school 13 years ago. Began trading sugar and then moved to the LIFFE market in 1982, as so many here have. Appointed a floor manager with BNP. one of the very many international organisations here on the trading floor. Let us not forget that this is the London International Financial Futures and Options Exchange. European, North American, Far Eastern institutions, all represented, as of course are the locals whom we've seen trade on their own account. We're introduced to Sally Evans, a pit observer in the trading operations department. And also just beyond Sally there, we can see James Cohn, a floor manager and qualified trader with Cargill Investor Services. The pit observer's role, Sally in the blue jacket, one of those responsible for ensuring orderly trading. James Cohn, floor manager of Cargill Investor Services, one of the largest privately held firms in the United States, is the ultimate parent company of that. Queen, no doubt fascinated to hear from Sally Evans just exactly how, from their pulpits, the life staff ensure orderly markets. Guy Boardman, floor manager and a qualified trader at GNI Limited, Gerard and National, if you like, joined GNI 6 years ago. He used to be a builder and has now progressed to floor manager of one of the largest floor operations on LIFFE. Quite an achievement. And look at those banks of proud and happy faces as the Queen walks along. She's turning the corner now at the far end of the trading floor from our commentary position, down near where the German mark contracts are traded. And she's introduced, or just about to be introduced, I should say, to Barry Clark, the floor manager and qualified trader with the Istituto Bancario San Paolo di Torino. As I was saying, this is truly an international exchange. Andrew Whitelaw, floor manager with Deutsche Bank Capital Markets. And near us, you can, I think, just make out the UBS